Tom Danheiser, producer for Coast to Coast AM, really the guy behind so much of it, and the great team there at Coast to Coast AM, the whole family. You guys have a hard work schedule. How often do you guys fly around the country to affiliates?
Maybe once every 2 months, once every 3 months.
So Austin, out of 500 plus markets, must be a special market. You guys come here every year.
We come every year to TalkFest. Mark and the guys at KLBJ, and of course you. We really like you guys.
Well, I've really, in the 3 times I've been involved, I've really appreciated it. And Tom, it's been a great experience, and I appreciate you including me in it.
You're one of the best out.
Thanks a lot. Folks, it's Tom Danheiser, one of the main guys behind Coast to Coast AM. He's a sweetheart. Appreciate all those great guests. Thanks, Tom. CoastToCoastAM.com.
You need to write back and say, no, here's...
Well, I'm here with my friend George Noory in Austin, Texas at TalkFest. This is his 3rd time around in town. I'm always honored that he's invited me here. George, thanks for being here.
Hello, Alex. Always a pleasure, my friend.
You bet. So much is happening in the world. You're always interviewing me, but I'd like to interview you. What do you think is most important in society right now? The changes that are happening, the awakening, or the tyranny that's coming in?
I think it's all a combination of everything. It's the awakening, it's knowing about the tyranny, and it's knowing what to do about it when all this happens. I think what's happening to society right now is people are beginning to become aware that they are getting the short end of the stick, and they are fed up. They are tired about it. They're tired about people forcing things down their throat. They're tired about people threatening to take away their guns. They're tired about getting overtaxed. They are just fed up. And this pressure cooker, which I call the pressure cooker of life, has got to get changed and has got to get released, or it's going to blow up. And what is happening is, 3,000 people out there, and they all have their own topic ideas. So you can't restrict yourself to a smaller area of topics. You've got to be more widespread.
George, just 2 more questions. I want to get into the New World Order underestimating the power of the people, just repeating what you said last night, the points you brought up. But also I want to spend some time on Worker on the Light and Workers on the Light. Tell us about Worker in the Light, and then the sequel that's about to come out, Workers in the Light.
Worker in the Light, of course, is about my experiences in the paranormal world. Some of the experiments that I've done and some of the techniques I've used in order to tap into what I have always called a wireless internet in the universe. A path that will take you to incredible places, an incredible journey. Workers in the Light are real stories from people who have read the book and have used some of these techniques, or events have happened in their lives. So we put them together. And we've got some other things coming out, Nero Blaze, the Time Traveler. My big favorite book, which will come out in about 1.5 years, of which you will be in it, is called Talktown USA. And it's about America's craze for talk shows and how talk shows have saved us from pure insanity.
I think they have, because it gives the people a chance to interact, to talk to each other. It's been the venue that so many times has stopped tyranny, like the forced inoculation of the medical workers and police in 2002, which you fought, and it came out that the smallpox was killing people, and that whole program stopped.
Yep. And we've got more to do, more hurdles to jump.
George, the New World Order, do you think they're going to win, and have they underestimated the power of the people, the awakening?
I don't know if they're going to win, but I'll tell you what, they are in for one hell of a fight with us, Alex.
There's Alex. What's happening, brother?
You look good.
Hard-working young man. How are you? Close.
Good to see you.
Is that George?
It's George Noory right there.
Right there?
That's deception.
Hey, Alex, we did the autopsy on Oswald. How about that?
What's your last name?
Rudy.
Paul?
Isn't that cool?
Yes, sir. In fact, I got your phone number from Jim Mars just the other day, and I want to interview you for a film I'm making about JFK. I was in Dallas with St. John Hunt last week.
Yeah? Is that right?
Yeah, and Mars was saying I had to interview you because he said years ago he was the first to talk to you about how the Secret Service made you take Oswald's hand and put it on the gun at the mortuary, right?
That's right. In my morgue is where they did it, and they left his hand all dirty, and I had to clean it up because they had the ink on his hand so they could print.
You're kind of the guru of this, George.
you, George.
Well, I love them, Mark.
Great to have all of you with us here at the Austin Convention Center for TalkFest. I'm Mark Caesar with George Noory and the man that you enjoy every Sunday afternoon on KLBJ, Mr. Alex Jones. Alex,
Austin's own. I want to tell you a little story about Alex Jones. Must have been, what, 3 years ago? You were first on?
Oh, I think it was almost 5 now, George.
Oh, sorry, Alex.
Time is flying by.
Got an email from someone who said, you ought to consider having this Alex Jones guy on as a guest. And I said, who? And I started investigating and listening and looking at his websites, Infowars.com, PrisonPlanet.com.
That's PrisonPlanet.com, George.
And, you know, I said, you know what, this guy's right on. And this guy is not holding back like so many other talk show hosts do. This guy's putting his neck in the noose. I'm amazed this guy's still alive.
Well, George, it's not courage. I'm just can't control myself.
So I get a text from my sister in Detroit today, and she said, Mom loves Alex's show with you last night. I said, what do you mean Mom loves Alex's show with me last night?
Oh, God.
She loves him. She loves him. I gotta get his books. I gotta get his DVDs. I gotta get his message. And so you owe me books and DVDs.
I'm going to send you a huge shipment, George.
But
You're going to
anyways,
be sitting on crates of them.
I brought him in, and I gotta tell you, I stuck my neck in the noose as well, because there were some people and some program directors in this country who were a little uneasy about me taking this direction with the guy who I call the Bulldog. But I felt that we owed this to you, that we as Americans owed something special, and that was somebody's ability to go through everything that's going on this planet, research it, interview it, and give you the answers so you can make up your own mind what the heck is going on. And I found that with you, Alex Jones.
Well, George, thank you. You know, when George says that they don't tell him what to say, he can do whatever he wants, that's true, because he had me on, and since then he's had a lot of other really hardcore, heavy-hitting guests and experts on. And George has never told me what I can or can't talk about, and that's something special when you have an audience of 16 million. And I talk a lot about this, but Bill O'Reilly, you know, the big ego, I'm not attacking him, I'm just saying he's a big ego. He's got 3 million viewers to his TV show tonight, and they talk about the biggest thing since sliced bread on cable television. The audience is all broken up. George, in most cities, has over 30% of the total radio audience for the entire market, and in some areas, more than half of it. Half the people listening to radio, not just talk radio, but radio at night are listening to this guy. And then I had millions and millions of listeners and millions of people visiting my websites, but going back to 2003, when George first had me on, it was just absolutely explosive. And suddenly, we were getting about 2 million visitors a week to all the websites. We had 20+ million visitors in one day. So I guess his entire audience went over to the site, and then I could extrapolate that out with political movements and things that have changed and things that have happened. And so the major breakthrough, we're already having a huge effect, was George